Remember about a year ago we bought this half wheel of raclette from France? It was pungent, sharp, and delicious. Great purchase overall. The machine with which we melted it with was not, so I threw it away. Then 6 months ago, we got a whole wheel of raclette from Switzerland, the home of the raclette. It was more mild and fruity, combined with the superior machine, it melted extremely well. To make sure raclette truly never ends in this household, we're gonna go acquire another one. You might have heard people say that Alpine is the best region in Europe for cheese, but have you heard of the saying, Vermont is the Alpine of America? I didn't hear that, because I know that. I found the only farm in America that specializes in Alpine style cheeses, and they carry a version of raclette. So let's take a little road trip today. Oh. Thank you for letting me use this car, man.
Of course, keep it safe.
Prime.Inc. Is it KSI?
That's a good question.
Now we're gonna grab a couple of simple components to make the raclette sandwich. I'm gonna go with some prosciutto, baguette, and that's probably it. This is where the cheese farm is. You know, I went to school in upstate New York and I thought that was the definition of middle of nowhere until I came here. Oh, this is remote.
This is...
I feel like I'm gonna end up on a Mr. Ballin episode. Look at these cows.
Excuse me.
Wow. Hello. You know where the farm is? Can you tell me where the farm is? That way? Alright, thanks. So the manager of the farm didn't allow us to film because the cheese making process is technically proprietary information, which basically means I'm not gonna tell anybody how to do this so I make the most money. And we always gotta respect people getting that bread. I mean cheese in this case. But don't you worry, there's a lot of information on raclette on Google. Combined with some online footage that I found, I can explain to you the process perfectly. This is actually a wheel of Emmentaler, but the process is super similar. You get the idea.
The world famous holes.
The Kardashian. I mean, what? Let me mute these footages and I'll just talk over them. Raclette comes from the French word
Raclette,
which means to scrape. One of the rare cheeses in Europe that's named after the preparation rather than the geographical location. Before raclette started trending on TikTok, it had a long history in the Alpine region. Originated in the Valais region, raclette has become prominent in every Swiss household. Dating back to the medieval times, Swiss shepherds used to take these semi-hard cheese wheels up to the Alps, melt the surface with an open fire, then scrape it onto bread or potatoes. It evolved into a communal dish where families gather around the melter and put cheese onto whatever they want, compared to that of America where people take individual slices of cheeses to their burger. The divorce rate in Switzerland is much lower and family life is much more prominent. And this is Fred, a Swiss cheesemaker. I found him online. Fred takes good care of his cows. In exchange, they give him fresh, high-quality milk. Then the milk is carefully heated in large copper vats. Then bacterial cultures and rennet are added to the milk, causing it to curdle. The curd is then cut into small pieces, allowing them to separate. Just like my parents. Scooped into molds where they are pressed to remove excess whey, immediately soaked in the salt brine which enhances flavor and helps with the preservation. Here comes the most important part. The cheese must be aged in cellars to at least 3 months, given it time to develop its unique nutty flavor and creamy texture, or what I call the stinky feet transformation. After the aging process, the wheels are regularly turned and brushed with brine to form its characteristic rind. Only then can a raclette be shipped to Future Canoe's fridge and combat the other radioactive ingredients. So that is the general process of how people make raclette in the Swiss Alps. In Vermont, it is a little bit different. In Europe, every farm uses the Holstein cows from the Netherlands. It is the most common dairy breed. In America, we have something called the Jersey cows. Just like many other things here, it may not be the best looking, but the fat content is off the roof. As a result, the dairy products from these cows are richer and creamier. You guys already know how much I love Bluebell ice cream. I was delighted to find out that in Texas, most farms use Jersey cows. We're allowed to film outside of the cheese making facility, so here are some extremely cute babies that I got to play with.
Right.
It's a little antisocial. Oh. Right.
No, he's sleeping.
During the school year, this farm also serves as an after-school activity for inner-city kids to learn about the dairy farm industry. These cows get to spend time with humans all the time, that's why they're super social. Their tongues kind of feel like cat's tongue, and I sniffed my hand afterwards. It doesn't even smell that bad. Kind of smells like my English teacher back in middle school. Love the scratches. Love the scratches. Oh.
The little nosy thing. I want to do something with the sound bite.
That's what we like, right there. Should be a model.
This pretty lady giving us kisses is named Alexa. She's one of the most social on this farm. And today I learned that a cow is only a cow if they give birth. Before they give birth, they're called heifers. Therefore, I'd like to formally extend an apology to my sister. It was wrong of me to call you a cow when you're clearly a heifer. You're not even on your way since you can't even lock down a boyfriend. Love you though. See you on Sunday. It's a sad time. We gotta say goodbye to Alexa. She's so pretty. If I could, I would just stay here and watch them eat grass all day. What an amazing experience. I got to learn about cheese and pet a Hefner. I didn't get a chance to eat today. I'm getting pretty hungry. So before I head back to New York, we're gonna make a raclette sandwich in the car. Here's our old friend, the Superior machine. Ooh. That looks like the French one. It looks so beautiful. Very thin layer, very soft. Mild cheese with more of a floral and fruity notes. Fruity, not like it smells so bad. Smell it.
Ooh!
Yeah, it smells like strudel.
From the cow's udders.
And the herd mentality.
The herd mentality. Once one starts going, they all go. I mean, we went. That's right. Basically the same thing.
How do we grill this? It's supposed to be a half wheel, so we can hold it like that. But right now we don't have a quarter. I wonder how we can get a time lapse of what's happening. That looks a little too complicated, Evan. I'll just use the stock footage of this time lapse. Before I finish the grilling, I should probably prepare the sandwich first. Alright, let's get the baguette ready.
Uncircumcise it.
Maybe you're over here. You can't eat the plastic if you didn't know. A little more. This is a beautiful sound.
Hold on, give me a sec. Wow. That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Whoa. Wow.
Prosciutto, raclette, and baguette. Ham and cheese sandwich. Alright. Yeah, I'll feed you. What do you think?
Very good.
Street side raclette scraping.
Tastes way better than it smelled before.
I think we did pretty well. I should start a business. Now time to go home. Finally back home, let's give this cheese a full evaluation. I give half the quarter to my friend, so we only have an eighth left. I also bought this block over here. It's called Terran Taste. Is their award-winning cheese from the National Cheese Competition in Minnesota. Why am I never invited to stuff like that? This supposedly is the best cheese they produce. It's aged for longer than the Raclette, so it's harder. And you can see here it has the signature caved rind. This is a tradition dating back to when the shepherds in the Alpine region take their cheese wheels up to the Alps. They'll use really thick and tight rope to tie around the cheese wheel so the horse can carry it. And the rope eventually is gonna shape the wheels like that. But I think they do it right now just for the aesthetic. It's kinda unnecessary. Like when I take off my pants to fart. First, let's open this up and give the Terran Taste a Terran taste. Just by cutting it, I can already feel how much harder it is than the Raclette. I don't think it's gonna melt. It tastes like a hybrid between Parmesan and Emmentaler. It has the sharpness and pungency of a cave aged without losing the mild softness of a Swiss. The world of cheese just keeps on getting better. I studied winemaking in college. I should have done cheese instead. Just from what I remember, I think this piece of American raclette tastes similar to the French one. It's not as hard as the French one, but it's definitely harder than the Swiss one. So today, I'm gonna scrape it onto everything I can find in my house and play a game I like to call
Will it raclette? Let's find out.
2 weeks ago when we made that chili feast cake, that's when I started wondering, what if we scrape raclette on top of it? That's what we're gonna do. But instead of homemade hoagie bread, we're gonna use baguette. And instead of thinly sliced prime ribeye, we're gonna use whatever's on sale. I guess the only constant is the onions. Hot pan, hot oil, gonna put some color on this beef. This is a top round, which is one of the toughest cuts, and it's fairly thick, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I think my strategy is just gonna be searing it very quickly to give it color, and we're not gonna cook it long so it doesn't get tough. As soon as I flipped it, they started bubbling up and boiling. Why is this happening? Over here making boiled steak. It's not even hot pot. Anyways, we'll turn up the heat, put in some more oil, and add in the onions. The moisture from the onions is gonna help us catch all that fond on the bottom. We'll scrape it as carefully as we can to release all the flavor. When the beef is not the best quality, we have to have the onions shine through. When it's pretty much all brown and soft, we'll add it back in, mix it together, and we'll move on to grilling the raclette. I realized that the first machine we've ever gotten was a quarter wheel machine. Why did I throw that away? Usually I'm a hoarder, but the one time I try to be minimalistic, I screw myself over. Alright. There's too much drippage going on here. I think the main difference between the raclette from all three countries is in the rind. The French one has the hardest one, so it's the hardest to scrape, but it tastes better on its own. The Swiss one's is entirely made to be scraped. It was so easy, and the rind melts really well as well. This American one is interesting though, because the rind is semi-hard and it gets kind of crispy. Take a look at the cross section, let's give it a taste and rate 1 through 10. There's no need to ask the question, will it raclette? The first one always works. I don't make the rules, I think Josh does. But besides the beef being a little more on the chewy side, this is the perfect cheese for sandwiches. It's mild enough to highlight all other ingredients and has enough noticeable pungency to make the whole thing better. Since we're scraping raclette onto everything in my pantry, let's let my intrusive thoughts win once in a while. We're making right now a brioche peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Remember when I added my peanut slushy into my roommate's Jeffy's? Well, he didn't notice and ate it. I guess people do surround themselves with others similar to their intelligence. Now with the sandwich all laid out, time to grill and scrape. The problem with an eighth wheel is the corner is too thin to hold the cheese fall, but it does make the scraping easier though. It actually looks really good. Let's give it a taste and rate 1 through 10. I now just realized this is essentially a plate of fruit, cheese, and nuts. It's a classic combination, but somehow I expected it to be weird. The raclette by nature is soft and creamy. It's kind of like just hanging out in the background, highlighting all other ingredients. It works both savory and sweet. So if the jelly is a good idea, I wonder if it works on actual fruits. My grocery store labeled them as white cherries, but they're clearly not white. I think they're actually called Rainier cherries in Washington. They only come in the summer. They're sweeter and the flesh is more firm than the average purple cherry. This is slowly turning into a disaster over here. Okay, cheese covered cherry. Let's give it a taste. It tastes good again. The sweet and savory combination is working really well. I think this video is slowly straying away from will it raclette, but turning into what doesn't work with cheese. I saw some great answers on Reddit. First being sushi, but not just any sushi. It's grocery store sushi. It's pretty much the food equivalent of giving up on life. So let's see if raclette can make it better. It looks like a piece of deteriorating fish skin just accidentally fell on top of the sushi. Let's first start with a salmon avocado roll. You can't even tell it's sushi anymore. It doesn't really taste like it anymore either. Let's do a more hardcore test. Straight up nigiri, no avocado or seaweed, just raw fish, rice, and cheese. I feel like I'm offending a lot of people over here. It's definitely not a good idea, but the thing is, it's not that bad. So far the conclusion is cheese doesn't make anything bad, but it doesn't go with sushi. I just spent more time on Reddit and became an expert on the topic of how to make cheese taste nasty. This seemed like the most reliable option. Banana dipped in ketchup. And we're gonna put cheese on top of it. This just looks like a bad situation over here. So first of all, the dipping already seemed pretty gross, so I'm confident that I will finally defeat the raclette here. This will be our last experiment. I'm holding up air quotes if you can't see me. Of the day, because the machine's overheating and I don't think I want to eat anything after this. Looks like it's in need of a hospital nearby, but let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. It's actually really good. The flavor and the texture of the banana blends really well with the cheese, and both of them together creates a sweet and savory foundation for the tomato ketchup. Three of them complete each other. I really enjoy this combination, which is something I didn't want to learn about myself. As you guys know, my family doesn't know about this channel. What if they discover in the future and watch my videos and realize I enjoy ketchup, banana, and cheese? I'll never have a chance to beat my sister to become the favorite child of the family. So let's all just stuff it down and never talk about this incident ever again. Anyways, I just realized we've been focusing on the struggle so much that we haven't done struggle meal in a while. Let's take it up a notch and bring some culture to the channel. If you have a struggle meal recipe that's representative of your country, send it to me and we'll do struggle meals around the world. Very excited. Alright, thank you.